Hi everyone, it's me Gaming Do, and today, first of all, I just want to announce that I'm not 100% sure on this yet, but it's looking pretty likely that we are unfortunately not going to be getting a GD Plus video this week, and that's because for some reason I'm having really bad lower back pain right now, and I'm not 100% confirming that. We could get one this week by surprise if I feel better or something, or feel up to it. But I also am going to be filming a GD Plus Halloween special that's going to be over a half an hour long, and I might just focus on that this week, and my goal is to have that uploaded for next Friday, 2 days before Halloween. But anyways, let's get into the spirit of Halloween by reviewing my second to last Nightmare on Elm Street film and kind of my first Friday the 13th film, Freddy vs. Jason. Now, what I didn't do in the last video, I'm going to do in this video, which is review my opinion on the rest of the Elm Street films. I adore the first one. I think the second one is alright. I like the third one even more than the first one. The fourth one I like more than most do. I don't like the fifth one. Freddy's dead. Enough said. And Wes Craven's New Nightmare I think is really, really good. So what do I think of Freddy vs. Jason? While it's not my favorite, I do think this is another hit. I really like Freddy vs. Jason. So let's get the negatives out of the way first, because I do have a few. I think about half of the acting in this film is pretty stale. Specifically, a lot of the boyfriend characters I just really couldn't get into. And there was some stoner guy about halfway through the film. I didn't really like their acting that much. I thought it was kind of stale. And, also, I do think, I know this might be a little bit of a nitpick, I do think it takes a little too long to get to the actual fighting for Freddy versus Jason. If that was maybe 20-30 minutes earlier, I think I would have given this film an A rating, but you'll see what it is later. And really, the number one problem I have with this entire film is just that sometimes this film honestly feels like it drags on a little too long. I think this is one of the longer Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th films, and sometimes this film just feels like it drags on. Like, a lot of the scenes with especially the regular human characters, the victims per se, while some of the characters are good, like Lori and Kia, I forgot what her name was. I admitted I haven't seen this film since last year, but those two characters are good, but a lot of them are kind of forgettable. However, let's start with the positives to what's not forgettable. Freddy versus Jason. The fights between Freddy and Jason are fucking amazing. They are brutal, they are violent, they are action-packed, and it is so cool to see these two fighting in their unique styles. I love that Freddy is more powerful in the dream world, but Jason is more powerful in the real world. So honestly, it depends which world they're in to who I think would win. If it was in the real world, I think Jason would freaking chop Freddy in half, but if it was Jason in the dream world, I think Freddy would dice him into fucking cubes. But that's why I don't really have an answer on who I think would win. I think it depends which world they were in. If real world, it's Jason. Dream world, it's Freddy. And you know what else I really like about this film? I think the kills are pretty damn good. I know a grand majority of the kills in this film are Jason kills, but I like them. I like the kill. Probably my favorite kill in the film is when Jason is stabbing the guy through the bed and then he literally just folds the bed in half and basically annihilates the guy. That's awesome. I even like it more than the Freddy kill, which I'm a pretty significantly bigger Freddy fan than I am a Jason fan, but I'll give him this. Jason gets the best kill of the movie. But I do like Freddy's kill in this movie. That's another thing I kind of forgot to say. One of my other negatives is I wish Freddy had a few more kills in this film. He only really gets one. And it's a good kill. Like, he, slashes the guy and lights him on fire, but really, it's not the best kill in the Elm Street franchise, admittedly. I think the character's name is Mark? I don't know. I forgot. I haven't seen this movie in a while, but sort of like Wes Craven's New Nightmare, I don't have a heck of a lot to say about this movie. I also kind of like the whole atmosphere of the real world scenes and where they fight. Like, the dream world looks cool and they kind of fight on a lake in the real world scenes for the final battle, and I think that's pretty cool. But I'm gonna be honest to God, I don't have a heck of a lot more to say about Freddy vs. Jason. I might have a little more to say about the remake, we'll see. Hopefully that comes out tomorrow, but overall, I do really like Freddy vs. Jason. It's not my favorite, probably in either franchise, but it's a really fun time that I give a B. If you just want to see Freddy vs. Jason fight to the death, you'll get it, but it might take a while to get there. And some of the human characters are kind of boring, and it does have a little bit of a pacing issue in my opinion, but for the most part, this is a very enjoyable film. One more to go. And then hopefully I can start my next horror franchise, because ultimately I've decided I'm going to be extending horror reviews outside of Halloween. Because admittedly I am a pretty big horror movie fan, so my next review series, I hinted it in the last video, but I'm going to downright say it in this video. My next horror franchise is going to be the Child's Play franchise. It's really hard to say if I like Child's Play or Halloween more as my second favorite franchise, but Nightmare on Elm Street is by a landslide my favorite. And speaking of that franchise, we have one more to go, but for these reviews, it's time for Robert Englund to hang up the hat. As the next film, the last film, he will be replaced by Jackie Earle Haley, and you'll see what I think of him in the next review. Gaming Do here. See you later. Bye.